90s Disney brought in a decade of dominance with the likes of The Lion King, Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast. But do you know those actually had sequels, and this is one of them that we're going to be covering today with The Lion King 2 Simba's Pride. Is it any good? We're about to find out in just a second, but before we get onto it, please hit that like button, that would be much appreciated. If you guys at home know Disney classic sequels like anybody else around here, you know that they're not that great. In terms of the 90s and early 2000s stuff, the stuff that they're doing now is a little bit better in terms of sequel work. However, back in the day, they used to be just direct to DVD, and they didn't put enough time or effort or even enough budget in there to make a half-decent sequel for those characters and for that story that they were trying to create. Hence why Lion King 2 was a direct to DVD sequel and probably didn't have as much effort put into it as other ones did. However, that does not mean it's a bad one. This is one of the occasions where Disney actually got it right. Congrats. Woo. Woo. Big celebration for Disney. Woo. They actually exploited something which was worth exploiting, which was Scar having a family. Is that possible? Yes, it is. And they managed to do that. Is it possible that we can sort of take everything successful out of The Lion King and sort of just go whoop and put it into this movie and it'd be half good? And it's not the best sequel you're ever going to see. It was never going to replicate The Lion King, let's be honest. It was never going to get to those levels. However, what it did manage to do was, it managed to give us a sequel that was worth watching. Unlike many of the other fucking shit sequel direct-to-DVD movies that we saw. And I think what made that good was because they told a good story with Scar's family of wanting revenge. Because they watched their father die and by Simba, who is now the head of the Pride Lands, and they were exiled from the Pride Lands, and they want revenge, they want power, and that is exactly what the first movie was about, copied and pasted, but it works. It works. And it makes a lot of sense for them wanting to get revenge. I was fine with that. Then you look at the other parts of the movie which really fit, like I said, with the soundtrack. It's not as good as Circle of Life and I Want to Be King. But guess what? It does help to tell the story. And it does help to show the emotion. That worked. However, when I say semi-successful, I mean semi-successful. I think that this movie was good and was sort of like a bit of gold in a pile of shit of direct-to-DVD and direct-to-videos. However, it was still good. But it was never going to be on the same level as, let's say, The Lion King from 1994. It was never on that level, and it will always be in the shadows because Disney never put in the wonga to make this movie better and put in the most effort that they needed, because they did the opposite of what they did with The Lion King. They put in a lot of wonga to get a lot of wonga back. Whereas in this movie, they put little wonga to the movie just to try to get a little bit extra to put towards the other projects in the years that are going to follow. And that's what they did throughout the whole of these direct-to-DVD sort of movies. Also, while we're on the negatives, just to point out a few negatives here and there, is Zazu, who was played by Rowan Atkinson in the 1994 movie, and then somehow gets replaced in this movie because of contractual disputes and due to Rowan Atkinson being a bit busy. For me, I'd have fought tooth and nail and claw to make sure he was in that movie. Or if not, I would have cut out that character entirely. Because you were never going to replace that same level of character building that Rowan Atkinson put into that character. The energy, the zazz, the shazam of that movie. And they just went bosh. And that is why I think I over-celebrated with Disney, let's be honest. Because they deserve a shame on you, Disney. Shame on you for continuing to make this movie without Rowan Atkinson. Although, back on a positive, I think Zyra as a villain was phenomenal. Let's be honest, she was great, she looked scary, fearsome, and looked like she could actually kill a motherfucker. Where Scar was always cowardly, and let's be honest, Scar, you acted like a little bitch throughout most of The Lion King, let's be honest.
Long live the king.
Just a little bit like a little bitch. And to me, she didn't act like that at all. She weren't cowardly. She knew what she was doing. She wanted that revenge, and she didn't care how she got it. And the thing is, the way that she acted weren't very cowardly at all. She was going to go head to head, where Scar used to back out of those things and then weave his way around and be like a little snake. Whereas she didn't do that. Finally, on the ending, I thought the ending was well worked and was a good ending for this entire movie. And for me, the Lion King 2 ending, this is what I expected to see, and it was pretty obvious how it was going to end with Kuvu and Kyra getting together and moving in with into the Pride Lands. But what weren't expected was the rest of Scar's family joining them as well. And then there was like Zyra, and she had the opportunity to join the Pride Lands after all was forgiven, after Kyra was able to convince her father that actually this is worthwhile, we're all the same, why we're treating each other differently, we're all lions and everything like that, why don't we just invite them in and stop judging people for past behaviours and stuff. But then we see that Zyra is totally against that, and that when she tries to jump in to go for Simba, that's when Kyra steps in, and then they both fall off the cliff, apart from Kyra was saved, and Zyra ends up falling off and dying. And I think that was just a great ending for the entire movie. So to summarise this movie then, for me, this is easily a 7.4 out of 10 and a world-class film. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments down below. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it terrible? Is it amazing? Let us know all that jazz down in the comments down below, alongside your ratings if you would. And also, if you haven't done so already, if you've enjoyed this video, please give this video a like, give this video a subscribe. And if you haven't done so yet, click a video on screen, or if you're not bothered about watching another one of my videos at the moment, then I shall see you guys in the next one. Later.